The 70s aesthetic is a perfect choice for the Sunrise on the Reaping film. In the late 60s and early 70s, approximately from 1965 to 1975, the United States was engaged in the Vietnam War. During this time, there was a lot of political unrest. People at home were not in support of this war. The veterans abroad fighting were facing many new challenges. And when soldiers returned home, they were not met with a ticker tape parade. When you think of dressing in the 70s fashion, you probably think of hippies and peace and love. The reason that is what you associate with the 70s is because of how people were viewing the war movement back home. And in relation to Sunrise on the Reaping, I think this is such a perfect fit. The victors could really be comparable to the veterans. They're not getting great treatment in the Capitol. Their reward for winning their games is to mentor the younger upcoming victors being sold within the Capitol, or even just having to return every year and coach kids who are going to die. Living as a victor, much like a veteran, separates you from the regular population. You have a level of PTSD, of understanding that the other people don't have. And Hamish's homecoming in particular is extremely difficult. So the concept of a veteran returning home to a foreign world that is not sunshine and rainbows, it really fits. The level of propaganda also tells a great story, showing that the government is trying to convince the people that the Hunger Games are a good idea, much like our government was trying to convince the people that the war in Vietnam was necessary. And it was met with a lot of resistance. So that level of political unrest, that undertone of defiance, is really well shown by using the 70s aesthetics. And within that propaganda, they're pushing for peace, much like people back home were. And I love the idea that Lenore Dove is going to really symbolize and showcase that sort of attitude of the people back home who were fighting against this war. And I've been saying it since the first look dropped of the Peacekeepers. A lot of the different shots remind me of influential moments in the 70s. So, for example, those masks in particular remind me of the protests at Kent State in 1970. And I know that the Hunger Games is a global phenomenon, and Sunrise on the Reaping is going to sell excellently all across the globe. But I think it's really an interesting choice in particular, knowing that Panem is set in North America, to give it this look as if it is occurring in the 70s, since anyone who knows anything about that time in the United States might be able to correlate the two. But let me know in the comment section what you think of this choice to give a 70s aesthetic to the film. And if you love Sunrise on the Reaping or The Hunger Games, be sure to hit the follow button.